Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the gentle patter of rain creates a soft melody across the cobblestone streets, the old village stands like a precious relic nestled beneath the protective embrace of rolling hills. Each stone, worn smooth by the passage of time, tells a story of seasons long past. The air is cool, tinged with the earthy scent of damp wood and moss, as if the very essence of the earth is exhaling a sigh of relief beneath the nurturing rain. Wooden houses, their paint peeling gracefully, stretch along narrow paths that wind through the heart of the village like the veins of an old friend. Each house has its own character, with sagging roofs adorned in vibrant green moss and window frames that hold whispered secrets of generations. The rain continues to fall, a soothing rhythm that seems to lull the world into a gentle slumber. The village, often bustling with the chatter of its inhabitants, now lies in a tranquil hush, accompanied only by the soft whispers of the wind that rustles through the trees. This weathered landscape has seen the passage of countless storms, both in nature and in the lives of those who call it home. In this serene moment, the world outside fades, and the heart is drawn back into a comforting cocoon of memories. As I stand at the edge of this scene, a wave of nostalgia washes over me, wrapping around my heart like a cozy blanket. It is a sensation both delicate and profound, stirring recollections of my own childhood spent amid these cobblestone paths and wooden facades. I can almost hear the laughter of children echoing through the streets, their joyous screams mingling with the rain. We would race down these very lanes, our boots splashing through puddles that mirrored the gray clouds above. How the sun would break free, transforming the rain-kissed landscape into a shimmering spectacle, vibrant hues bursting forth from sleepy petals. Those moments linger in my mind, like the fading notes of a cherished lullaby. The village has its own rhythm, a pulse that connects every inhabitant to the land and to one another. Neighbors would lean over their fences, exchanging simple pleasantries or sharing the day's harvest. Every autumn, the villagers gathered to celebrate the bounty of the earth, their laughter filling the air, mingling with the scent of roasted chestnuts and spices wafting from every hearth. As I recall these scenes, the soft glow of lantern light emanating from windows warms my heart. It paints a picture of unity, of a community that wraps itself around its members like an embrace. The familiar sights and sounds evoke a bittersweet longing for the simpler days of yore. I remember the corner shop, with its wooden sign swaying lightly above the door, its shelves stocked with jars filled with pickled vegetables and preserves that glistened like gemstones in the dim light. The shopkeeper, a kindly woman with twinkling eyes, would always greet us with a warm smile and a piece of hard candy tucked into the palm of our hands. Each visit felt like a little adventure, steeped in the warmth of her stories and the rich tapestry of life woven through the village. Amid this quiet reverie, my thoughts drift to the old cabin that sits at the very edge of the village, framed by a canopy of towering trees. It stands resilient, though time has left its mark, the wood twisted and gray, yet still retaining a certain charm. The cabin was once a gathering place for my family during the long winter nights. I recall huddling close to the fire, the crackling warmth enveloping us as tales of old were shared. Laughter would bounce off the walls, echoing into the shadows of the evening. With every story told, a sense of belonging nestled deeper into my soul. The surrounding forest, a vast tapestry of green, offered both refuge and endless exploration for the curious child I was. The rain fell like a soft blanket upon the leaves, creating a symphony of soft sounds that enveloped those who wandered within. The scent of wet earth, mingling with the fresh aroma of pine and the sweetness of decay, wrapped around me like a cherished memory. I would often find myself following the meandering streams, watching the water dance over stones, carrying with it the laughter of my younger self. It was in those woods that I learned to appreciate the small wonders of life, the delicate flutter of a butterfly, the distant call of a bird hidden in the foliage, and the way the sunlight would filter through the leaves, casting dappled shadows upon the ground. Each moment was a treasure, tucked away in the corners of my memory, waiting to be revisited. The rain continues its gentle descent, washing away the dust of the past, while simultaneously nurturing the roots of this timeless village. I can imagine the droplets slipping off the eaves of the cabin, forming small streams that trickle down to the earth, feeding the life that surrounds it. Nothing rushed or frantic here, just the steady heartbeat of nature and the soft embrace of history. Through the misty veil of rain, I can almost see the reflections of my childhood friends, their joyous spirits as vivid as the colors of our playful imaginations. I remember how we would create our own worlds, crafting make-believe tales under the verdant canopies. We were explorers, adventurers in a land that seemed both vast and intimate, forever encased in the magic of our innocent dreams. The world outside is an ever-changing tapestry, yet this village remains a sanctuary, a keeper of memories, echoing the joys and sorrows of its inhabitants. There is a comfort in knowing that while seasons change and time marches on, the essence of this place remains firmly rooted. As I stand amidst these reflections, I realize that every cobblestone, every raindrop, echoes with the lives we once led. Each person who crossed these paths left a bit of their spirit behind, woven into the very fabric of this timeless village. And as I think of the cabin at the edge of the village, I feel a gentle tug at my heart, an unspoken promise that there are still stories to be told and memories to be revived. The rain continues to fall, whispering secrets of the past, inviting me to wander once more along the paths that shaped my childhood. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The scent of aged wood filled the air as I stepped into the old cabin, a humble structure that stood defiantly against the passage of time. The door creaked open, revealing a space where shadows danced softly along the wooden beams, remnants of laughter and warmth lingering within its walls. Here, memories coiled like smoke, intertwining with the scent of moss and rain that seeped through the cracks. Each drop falling outside seemed to echo the heartbeat of the cabin, reminding me of the simple joys that once filled this space. The interior was adorned with mementos of lives once lived. A weathered rocking chair sat by the window, its paint peeling like the stories it had witnessed. A small wooden table, slightly askew, bore the marks of countless meals shared, laughter exchanged, and quiet moments of reflection. It made me ponder on the passage of time, how the days melted into years, and how the gentle rhythms of life in this village had shaped the very essence of those who called it home. As I wandered deeper into the cabin, I imagined the previous inhabitants. There must have been a family who filled these rooms with warmth, children racing through the narrow hallways, their giggles mingling with the crackle of a warm fire. Perhaps there were evenings spent reminiscing over steaming cups of tea, stories woven together in the glow of flickering candlelight. Each corner held fragments of their lives, whispering tales of love and hardship, of dreams and regrets. Sitting on the edge of the old bed, I could almost hear the faint echoes of their conversations, the soft rustle of fabric, the sound of a mother's gentle lullaby, or a father's hearty laughter resonated in my mind. It made me reflect on the simplicity of their existence, a life defined by the changing seasons and the rhythm of nature. Here, time felt like a gentle stream, flowing steadily, carrying with it the bittersweet memories of yesterday. Outside, the rain continued to cascade, each droplet playing its own part in the symphony of the village. I glanced out the window, where the world was cloaked in a silvery haze. The trees beyond swayed gently, their leaves dancing in the wind while the cobblestone path shimmered under the weight of the rain. I could almost see the villagers bustling about their daily tasks, tending to gardens or gathering for small communal gatherings that had once filled this village with life. The rain had a way of washing away the noise, leaving behind a tranquil solitude that enveloped the cabin. It was a reminder of how the simplest moments often held the greatest significance. I thought of the evenings spent beneath the stars, sharing stories around a fire, feeling the warmth of community wrap around us like a comforting shawl. Those gatherings were not just about sharing food, they were about connection, a reminder that even in solitude, we were never truly alone. Suddenly, a soft rustle broke the silence. I turned to see a small mouse peeking from behind an old chest, its tiny nose twitching as it sniffed the air. I watched as it cautiously approached, a reminder of life that persisted even in forgotten places. It scurried across the floor, disappearing into a gap in the wall, as if it too was aware of the stories that lingered within the cabin. In its presence, I felt a warmth swell in my heart, a connection to all the lives that had once filled this space, now represented by this small creature. As I settled back into the rocking chair, I closed my eyes, allowing my thoughts to drift into the past. The cabin was not just a structure, it was a vessel of memories, a keeper of secrets that whispered through the walls. I envisioned families gathering for harvest festivals, their laughter echoing through the trees, the scent of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. The village had once been a vibrant tapestry of lives interwoven, each thread unique but connected by shared experiences. The rain began to ease, and I could hear the faint echo of distant voices rising from the village square. It beckoned to me, a soft invitation to join in the rhythm of communal life once more. I felt a deep longing to connect with those who remained, to step outside and be enveloped by the warmth of their company. In that moment, the cabin transformed from a mere structure of solitude into a bridge to the heart of the village. I opened my eyes, taking in the cabin one last time. The light filtering through the rain-soaked window cast a serene glow, illuminating the dust motes that danced in the air. I felt a sense of acceptance wash over me. The past was a part of me, and though those days were gone, the essence of that life continued to breathe through the village. The cabin held within it a reminder that, while time may pass, the connections we forge and the stories we share endure. As I stepped back outside, the world felt different, more alive. I could see the faint outlines of figures gathering in the village square, their voices mingling with the sounds of the rain. There was a warmth in the air, a sense of belonging that tugged at my heart. I felt drawn to join them, to reconnect with the community that had woven its way into my memory. Tonight, the cabin had offered me more than just a glimpse into the past. It had ignited a longing for connection, for the simple joys of shared moments. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of rain-soaked earth and aged wood, allowing it to fill my senses. I was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, to once again become part of the village's living tapestry. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the rain continued its gentle descent, the village square became a canvas for shared moments, painted with laughter and stories that danced through the air. In the heart of the village, where cobblestones glistened beneath the soft glow of lanterns, villagers gathered, their voices mingling with the steady rhythm of raindrops. It was a scene that felt eternal, a tapestry woven from the threads of their lives. The square brimmed with life, a collection of souls wrapped in the warmth of companionship. I could see old Mr. Thornton, his beard as white as the clouds above, standing with a group of children gathered at his feet. He was a storyteller, revered for his tales that could transport listeners to distant lands. The children, eyes wide with wonder, hung on his every word, their laughter ringing like chimes in the breeze. It was a sound that filled the air with a sweetness that lingered long after it faded. Nearby, Mrs. Ellison stirred a pot of soup over a modest fire, the rich aroma wafting through the square. She had a way of making everyone feel at home, her laughter as warm as the meal she prepared. Each gathering felt like a reunion, a moment to reconnect with the essence of the village, a reminder that they were woven together by more than just the land. They were bound by shared experiences, by stories that echoed through generations. As I lingered in this scene, I felt a growing appreciation for the simplicity of these shared moments. It was in the way they exchanged knowing glances and gentle smiles, the little acts of kindness that seemed to go unnoticed by the world beyond their hills. The rain, steady yet soft, created a cocoon around them, a world where troubles faded away, if only for a night. One memory tugged at me, an echo of a gathering I had once attended. It was a night much like this, where the rain drummed softly against the rooftops, and lanterns flickered like stars come down to earth. The warmth of the fire danced in the faces of the villagers, casting shadows that transformed the square into a realm of magic. Old stories were told that night, tales of bravery and love, of losses and triumphs, each one a thread in the fabric of their collective memory. I recalled the story of the old well, a cherished symbol of life in the village. It stood at the edge of the square, weathered yet proud, its stones worn smooth by the hands that had drawn water from its depths. The well was said to hold secrets, whispers of those who had come before. On that particular night, Mr. Thornton had spoken of a time when the village faced a terrible drought. People had gathered around the well, their faces etched with worry, drawing strength from one another as they shared their fears. But then, in a moment of unity, an elderly woman named Agnes had stepped forward. With a voice steady and full of resolve, she suggested that they take turns drawing water, even if it was just a drop, each drop a testament to their resilience. The villagers rallied, laughter breaking through the tension, and together they drew water and sang songs that echoed across the fields. When the rains finally returned, it was as if the well had come alive, gushing forth with a renewed spirit. The villagers celebrated, grateful not just for the water, but for the bonds that had grown stronger through their shared struggle. The memory hung in the air like the scent of fresh rain, a reminder of the strength found in community. As I closed my eyes, I could almost feel the warmth of those moments, the sense of belonging that enveloped me like a beloved blanket. I longed to be part of that tapestry, to weave my own story into the fabric of their lives. As the rain continued to fall, I could hear snippets of conversations drifting through the square. A couple sat on a bench, their hands intertwined, exchanging soft words meant only for each other. An old man shared a joke with his neighbor, their laughter peeling back the layers of time and sadness, revealing the joy that lay beneath. It was a celebration of life, a reminder that amidst the mundane there existed a beauty that was both fragile and unbreakable. In this moment, I found solace. The rain washed away the clutter of the outside world, leaving only the essence of what truly mattered. I realized that these gatherings were more than moments. They were the heartbeat of the village, a rhythmic pulse that sang of resilience, of love, and of the stories that shaped their lives. Each story told, each laugh shared, was a thread that bound them closer, a reminder that no one ventured through life alone. As I stood there, enveloped in the warm glow of their camaraderie, I felt a shift within myself. The appreciation for community deepened, blossoming into gratitude for the shared experiences that connected us all. I began to understand that every laugh, every tear, every whispered story was a part of a greater narrative, one that stretched back through time, echoing in the laughter of children and the wisdom of elders. With the rain still falling, I took a deep breath, letting the sense of the earth and the warmth of the fire fill my senses. I closed my eyes once again, allowing the sounds of the village to wash over me, like the rain nourishing the soil that cradled their roots. I knew that these moments would linger in my heart, a gentle reminder of the beauty found in the simplest of gatherings. As the gathering continued, I sensed a shift in the atmosphere, a quiet anticipation. The villagers were preparing to share their own stories, each voice adding its own color to the canvas of the evening. I found myself drawn to the circle of warmth, eager to hear the tales that would unfold, stories that would lead us to the next chapter of our lives intertwined. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The rain still whispered softly against the rooftops, creating a rhythmic melody that seemed to wrap the village in a warm embrace. As I wandered through the cobblestone paths, I felt a pull towards the heart of this old village, where the old well stood like a sentinel of time. It was a structure both humble and majestic, with stones worn smooth by countless hands that had drawn water over the years. Each crack and crevice held secrets of the past, and I was drawn to its depths, wondering what stories it could tell. The well was more than just a source of water. It was a gathering spot for villagers, a place where tales of yesteryear flowed as freely as the water itself. Legends surrounded it, whispered among children, and shared in the flickering light of evening fires. Some said it was a portal to the village's history, a wellspring of memories that shaped the very fabric of this community. As I approached, I noticed the intricate carvings on the stones, each symbol telling a story of love, loss, and resilience. I knelt beside the well, my fingers tracing the cool, damp surface. The air was thick with the scent of wet earth, mingling with the faint aroma of wildflowers that grew nearby. In this moment, I felt a connection to the villagers who had stood here before me, drawing water, sharing laughter, and perhaps even shedding tears. Their lives were woven into the very stones, and I could almost hear the echoes of their voices carried by the gentle breeze. "Do you know the legend of the well?" A voice broke through my reverie. I turned to see an elderly woman, her silver hair cascading like a waterfall down her back. She wore a shawl that looked as if it had been spun from the very clouds above, soft and inviting. Her eyes sparkled with a knowing light, and I sensed she held a treasure trove of stories within her. "No, I don't," I admitted, curiosity blooming within me. "What is the legend?" "The well is said to hold the tears of the village," she began, her voice steady and calm. "Each drop that fell here carries the stories of our ancestors, their joys and sorrows. It's believed that if you listen closely, you can hear their whispers carried by the wind." I found myself captivated by her words. "What kind of stories?" I asked, eager to delve deeper into the village's past. "Ah, many stories," she smiled fondly. "Some speak of love lost and found, of friendships forged through hardship, and of the laughter that echoed through the village square. But there is one tale that stands out, the tale of a great drought that threatened our village many years ago." As she spoke, I could almost envision the parched earth, the villagers gathering by the well, faces etched with worry. "What happened?" I pressed, my heart quickening with anticipation. The villagers banded together, each bringing what they could spare. They would come to the well every day, not just for water, but for hope. They sang songs, shared stories, and comforted one another. Day by day, the well's water level dwindled, but their spirits remained high. It is said that on the last day of the drought, a storm rolled in, bringing with it the rain that had been long awaited. The well overflowed, not just with water, but with the joy of a community that refused to yield to despair. The old woman's voice was filled with warmth, and I could feel the weight of her words settling in my heart. That is why the well is sacred to us. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times, we find strength in each other. The bonds forged here are unbreakable. As I absorbed this revelation, I realized how profoundly history shapes our identities. Each villager, each family, and each moment shared at the well had contributed to the tapestry of this community. I felt a surge of gratitude for the simple lives lived here, for the laughter and tears that echoed through time. "Thank you for sharing this with me," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I never knew how much the well meant to the village. The woman nodded, her expression serene. "It is our history, our heart, and it is essential that the younger generations know the stories, or they risk losing the connection to their roots." Her words hung in the air, heavy with significance. I realized that my own curiosity about the past had led me here, to this moment of understanding. The weight of history was not a burden. It was a gift, a reminder that I was part of something larger than myself. The rain began to lighten, each drop now a gentle patter on the stones, and the skies slowly shifted from gray to a soft blue hue. I stood beside the well, my heart swelling with a desire to learn more about the village's stories. "Is there someone who knows more about the legends? An elder, perhaps?" I asked, my mind racing with possibilities. The woman smiled knowingly. "There is always someone who holds the past close. You may find him at the edge of the village, near the old oak tree. He's a keeper of stories, a man who has witnessed the seasons change many times over." With my path illuminated, I thanked her again and made my way towards the edge of the village, the anticipation of uncovering more stories urging me onward. The old oak tree stood tall and proud, its branches stretching wide as if embracing the sky. As I walked, I felt the village's heartbeat beneath my feet. Each step resonated with the echoes of those who had walked this path before me, their stories intertwining with my own. The air was filled with the scent of fresh rain, mingled with the earthy aroma of the soil, grounding me in this tranquil moment. Once again, I was reminded of the fragile beauty of life, the way history shapes our identities, and how, as we uncover the past, we also discover ourselves. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As I sat by the well, the steady rhythm of the rain drumming on the stones felt like a heartbeat, connecting me to the village's past. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and wood smoke, a comforting embrace that enveloped the old stones. I closed my eyes, allowing the sounds to weave a tapestry of memories around me, each drop a whisper from those who had walked these paths before. The gentle sound of footsteps broke my reverie, and I turned to see an elder figure approaching. It was Mr. Hawthorne, the village elder, known for his wisdom and stories that seemed to carry the weight of time itself. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. His eyes sparkled with a knowing warmth as he settled beside me, the corners of his mouth creasing into a soft smile. "Ah, the well," he began, his voice a low, soothing murmur that blended with the rain. "A witness to our joys and sorrows. Do you know its story?" I shook my head, eager to learn. "It is said that this well was built by our ancestors, a labor of love and necessity. When the village faced hardships, it was here that people gathered, drawing not just water, but strength from one another. It became a sanctuary, a place where laughter mingled with tears." His words painted vivid images in my mind, of villagers coming together, sharing their burdens and their dreams. The well was not just a structure, it was the heart of the village, a reminder of resilience and hope. "Many tales have been spun around this well," he continued, leaning closer as if sharing a precious secret. "One story speaks of a terrible drought that once plagued us. When the skies refused to yield rain, despair settled like a fog over the village. But the people did not give up. They gathered here, holding hands, praying for relief. And miraculously, just as they finished their prayers, the skies opened up and the rain poured down." I listened intently, imagining the scene. The villagers united in their desperation, their spirits woven together by hope. It was a poignant reminder of what it meant to be part of a community, to carry one another's burdens and celebrate each other's joys. "What happened to that spirit?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Hawthorne chuckled softly, a sound like distant thunder. "Oh, it lingers still. Times change, but the essence of our village remains. Each person carries a piece of our history within them. Those stories shape us, bind us together in ways we often forget. In every window that glows with light during the long winter nights, in every child's laughter echoing down the streets, the past breathes life into the present." As he spoke, I could almost see the faces of the villagers from years gone by, their laughter and tears woven into the very fabric of the village. An image of a young girl running through the rain, her hair streaming like ribbons behind her, danced in my mind. I felt a connection to those who had come before me, their joys and struggles echoing within my heart. "Tell me more," I urged, my curiosity ignited. He nodded, a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "There is one tale that always stirs my heart, one of love and loss. It was about a young couple, deeply in love, who would come to this well every evening to draw water. They would share dreams of a future, their laughter mingling with the sound of flowing water. But one fateful winter, a storm unlike any other struck. The couple set out to gather wood for their fire, but the storm took them by surprise. They were lost for days." A chill danced along my spine, and I leaned in closer, captivated. When they finally returned, they were changed. Life had tested them, and their love was stronger for it. They would come to the well, not just to draw water, but to remember what they had endured together, how they had emerged from the storm hand in hand. The elder paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. "They taught us that resilience is born from our struggles, that love can endure even the harshest of storms." I pondered this quietly, feeling the warmth of their story wrap around me like a blanket. It was a reminder that life's challenges could lead to growth, that the essence of community was found in the strength of shared experiences. "What happened to them?" I asked, curiosity bubbling inside me. "They grew old together, their love a beacon in the village. They became storytellers, sharing their journey with young ones who came to the well, eager to hear tales of courage and perseverance. Their legacy, like the water from this well, flowed through generations." Mr. Hawthorne's voice faded into the soothing backdrop of the rain, and I felt a sense of gratitude welling up within me. Each story was a thread in the tapestry of our village, and I was beginning to see the patterns that intertwined us all. As I glanced around the village, the soft glow of lights in the windows, the silhouettes of figures moving through the rain, I understood that I too was part of this narrative. My life, like the well, held the potential for connection, for resilience. The elder turned to me, his eyes reflecting the gentle light of the evening. "Every story you hear is a reminder that we are never truly alone. The past is always with us, whispering through the rain, beckoning us to remember." I smiled, feeling a sense of purpose ignite within me. Inspired by his words, I realized that each moment of my life was a story waiting to be told, a memory waiting to be cherished. As the rain began to soften, a serene calm enveloped us. The village, with its gentle rhythms and deep-rooted histories, felt like a sanctuary. I sensed that the wisdom of the elder would guide me on my own journey, just as the stories of the past had guided those before me. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the rain continued to patter softly on the cobblestones, I found myself drawn deeper into the village's embrace, tethered by the memories that lingered in the air. The old well, a steadfast companion throughout my journey, stood sentinel against the quiet drizzle. Surrounded by the gentle sighs of nature, I knelt beside its weathered stones once more, allowing the rhythm of the falling rain to guide my thoughts inward. In this moment of solitude, the world outside faded, and I felt the weight of silence wrap around me like a comforting blanket. The droplets danced on the surface of the well, creating ripples that mirrored the waves of emotion swirling within. It struck me then how the stories woven into the fabric of this village reflected my own life, echoing my fears and hopes. I took a deep breath, inhaling the earthy scent that rose from the ground, mingling with the sweetness of rain on wood. Each inhalation carried with it the whispers of those who had come before me, their laughter and sorrow entwined in the very air I breathed. I closed my eyes, allowing myself to drift back to the tales that had unfolded at this very spot, stories of love, loss, and the enduring strength of community. With each heartbeat, the memories unfurled. I could hear the laughter of children playing nearby, the way the village square would come alive during rainy afternoons. The echoes of Mr. Thornton's voice, rich with history, floated through my mind, reminding me of the warmth shared among neighbors as they gathered to recount their lives. Here, I realized, was the essence of belonging, a shared tapestry of experiences that bound us together, reminding us that we were never truly alone. As droplets continued to fall, I felt a cathartic release wash over me. I allowed my thoughts to roam freely, confronting the shadows that had lingered in the corners of my heart. I had often feared that my own journey, filled with missteps and doubts, would forever separate me from the stories of those who had come before. Yet, amid the tranquil chaos of the rain, I began to understand. My struggles were not a burden to bear in isolation, but a thread in the larger narrative of this village. The realization dawned upon me like the first light of dawn breaking through the clouds. The villagers' stories were mirrors reflecting my own, showing me that within the trials of life lay the seeds of resilience and hope. I had witnessed their triumphs and heartaches, and in doing so, I had found pieces of myself. I had walked these paths, feeling the same rain on my skin, and it became clear that we were all intertwined. I opened my eyes, gazing into the depths of the well, as if searching for answers that had been buried for far too long. The water's surface shimmered like 1,000 tiny stars, beckoning me to draw closer. In its depths, I saw not just my reflection, but the faces of those who had shared laughter and tears in this very place. The well was a reservoir of collective memory, a testament to the strength of community that could weather any storm. I felt an overwhelming urge to open my heart to the villagers, to share the insights I had gained in this moment of quiet reflection. The simplicity of life here, the way neighbors supported one another through thick and thin, was a lesson I wished to convey. It was a gentle reminder that we are all part of something greater than ourselves, a shared existence that celebrates joy and carries the weight of sorrow together. As the rain began to ease, a soft glow emerged from the windows of nearby cottages. Each flickering light told a story of warmth and comfort, evoking memories of shared meals and laughter echoing through the night. I envisioned the villagers gathering around their hearths, sharing tales of the day and offering support to one another. These moments, I realized, were the heartbeat of the village, a reminder that even in the quietest of times, connection thrived. I rose from my spot by the well, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The rain had painted the world in shades of gray, yet the village remained vibrant in my heart. The stories of the past had guided me toward acceptance of my own journey, allowing me to embrace the present with open arms. I carried the weight of their experiences, their joys and their sorrows, And in doing so, I felt lighter, more at peace. As I walked along the cobblestone path, I felt the lingering touch of the rain on my skin, a gentle reminder of the connections that bound us all. The village, with its history and warmth, had become a part of me, just as I had become a part of it. I could hear the distant laughter of children playing in the rain, and the soft conversations of neighbors sharing their day. Each sound was a note in the symphony of life that played on, undeterred by the storms that may come. With newfound clarity, I approached the heart of the village, ready to share the insights that had unfolded by the well. The stories of those who had walked these paths before me were not just relics of the past. They were living, breathing tales that spoke to the essence of humanity. I could feel the excitement building within me, a desire to bridge the gap between my own experiences and those of my neighbors. As the last drops of rain fell softly around me, I took a moment to stand still, absorbing the atmosphere of serenity that enveloped the village. I knew that this moment of acceptance was just the beginning. The stories we shared would continue to flow, connecting us all through the ebb and flow of life. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the rain continued its gentle serenade, I found myself seated on the cool stones beside the old well. The rhythmic patter against the cobblestones created a soothing backdrop, a reminder of the life that thrived here through countless storms. Each drop seemed to carry whispers from the past, stories of resilience and hope that echoed in the heart of this village. In the stillness, my thoughts wandered to the villagers who had walked these paths before me. Who were they, these souls who had nurtured the land and each other? I could almost feel their presence in the air, an unbroken thread connecting us across time. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. The laughter of children, once vibrant and carefree, now seemed to linger like a soft melody, inviting me to remember not just their joy, but their struggles too. They had faced storms far greater than the rain, yet emerged hand in hand, their spirits unyielded. As I gazed into the depths of the well, the water shimmered under the muted light, reflecting not just my image, but the essence of the village itself. What memories lay hidden beneath the surface? What stories could the water tell if only it could speak? I leaned closer, the cool mist rising to meet me, as if urging me to dive deeper into the village's collective memory. Each ripple in the water felt like a heartbeat, a connection to those who had gathered here before me, drawing strength from this very spot. It was then that I recalled Mr. Thornton's tales, shared under the shelter of the old oak tree during the last storm. His voice had woven a tapestry of the village's history, rich with characters and events that shaped our lives. The story of the great storm that once ravaged the village, leaving behind a trail of destruction, resonated within me. Yet from the ashes of despair, the villagers had rebuilt, their unity stronger than before. The well had become a symbol of that resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope could flourish. Mrs. Ellison's comforting meals had often filled the air with warmth, her kitchen a sanctuary during those rainy days. I remembered the way her eyes sparkled with kindness as she shared stories of her youth, of love found and lost, and of the simple joys that made life worth living. The scent of her freshly baked bread mingled with the rain, creating an aroma that wrapped around me like a warm embrace. It was in those moments that I understood the power of storytelling, how it bridged gaps between generations and nurtured the soul. As the rain continued to fall, I felt a profound connection with the villagers, both past and present. They had shared their lives with one another, weaving an intricate quilt of experiences that enveloped the village in warmth and understanding. I realized that my own journey mirrored theirs. I too had faced storms, both external and internal, and found solace in the stories shared among friends and loved ones. Each tale became a thread, binding us together in a tapestry of shared humanity. The gentle sound of the rain transformed into a lullaby, lulling me into a state of reflection. I closed my eyes, allowing the memories to wash over me like the rain itself. I could see the children playing in the fields, their laughter ringing out like bells, a reminder of innocence and joy. I felt the weight of the elders' wisdom, their gentle guidance helping to navigate the complexities of life. In this village, every story mattered. Every voice contributed to the chorus of existence. In the quiet, I understood that the true essence of this place lay in its stories. The well was not merely a source of water. It was a reservoir of memories, a sacred space where the past and present converged. Each villager had left a mark, a memory etched in the stone, and I was now a part of that legacy. I felt a warmth bloom within me, a sense of belonging that transcended time and space. Emerging from my reverie, I opened my eyes to the soft glow of the evening light. The rain had begun to lighten, its intensity waning as the clouds started to part. The village, drenched yet serene, appeared almost ethereal under the fading light. The cobblestones gleamed, reflecting the last remnants of daylight, while the trees whispered secrets to one another in the gentle breeze. It was as if the world had paused, allowing me to absorb the beauty and tranquility that surrounded me. I stood up, taking a moment to absorb the stillness of the village. The well, now a part of me, would forever be a reminder of the connections forged in this sacred space. I sensed that I was not alone. The spirits of the villagers lingered, their stories woven into the very fabric of the air I breathed. With each step away from the well, I carried their legacy with me, a promise to honor their memories through my own storytelling. As I made my way through the village, the familiar paths felt different, imbued with a newfound appreciation. The houses, with their wooden frames and softly glowing windows, seemed to beckon me closer, inviting me to listen to the tales they held within their walls. I envisioned the generations who had passed through these doors, their laughter and tears echoing in the silence. Each home was a vessel of history, a sanctuary of shared experiences that shaped the village's identity. Reaching the village square, I paused to take in the scene. The old oak tree stood tall, its branches a testament to the years it had weathered alongside the villagers. I could almost hear the echoes of stories being shared beneath its boughs, the warmth of community enveloping all who gathered there. It was a place of comfort, a reminder that connection was the essence of life, a thread that bound us all together. In that moment, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The storms of life, both past and present, had shaped me, but it was the love, laughter, and stories of this village that had nurtured my spirit. I understood now that every journey, every struggle, was part of a larger narrative, one that intertwined with the lives of those who had come before me. Together, we formed an unbreakable bond, a tapestry woven from the fabric of our shared humanity. As I stood there, I embraced the quietude of the moment, the gentle rhythm of the rain now a distant memory. The village was alive with the promise of tomorrow, a reminder that stories would continue to be told, connections forged, and memories created. I felt ready to carry this legacy forward, to share the tales of this old village with others, ensuring that its spirit would never fade. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.